The South African Housing Association and Infrastructure Fund is an entity that's been investing in fibre-to-the-home and fibre-to-the-business markets. It shifted its emphasis from just real estate investment to internet connectivity in 2019. And just this week, it was named as a runner-up in the Venture Capital Investor of the Year award at the Africa Tech Festival Awards. Well, to tell us more about the kind of impact they're making, particularly in the lower income neighbourhoods in their work, I'm joined by Kameel Keshav. He's the CFO of the South African Housing Association and Infrastructure Body. Thank you very much for joining us, Kameel. So you're invested in the real estate and now internet connectivity space. Just expand on the kind of projects that you've been involved in and the social capital that these projects have contributed in the process.
Yeah, good afternoon to you and your viewers. The South African Housing Infrastructure Fund was, as you rightly pointed out, set up in 2019 with the ultimate objective of accelerating serviced land to South African citizens. When we looked at or approached with the opportunity to invest into Metro Fibre, which today is the third largest fibre network operator and ultimately the premise of the award that we were nominated for, we saw that to be a significant synergy in terms of our ultimate vision. Infrastructure in today's terms means water, electricity, sewage, stormwater drainage, and of course a very important component, as our president always refers to in context of the fourth industrial revolution now, connectivity to the internet. So we saw this as a significant opportunity for us, one from an investment perspective, but two, very importantly, to incorporate and integrate this investment that we have with Metro Fibre through not just our shareholding as an investor, but also a partnership to allow us to sort of integrate the implementation and rollout of fibre into the different land opportunities that we're currently working with. In terms of sort of the impact that you've asked or had in your question, is material because, I think we're creating a significant advancement in terms of this fourth industrial revolution to allow the everyday South African to have access to online connectivity, not only just through the traditional mobile network operators, but also fibre connectivity, which is, of course, the most advanced form of technology today and the most stable form of technology as well.
Yeah, so months ago we were raving about the fact that government had auctioned the spectrum to a number of players in the telcos area. But how long does it take, between the awarding of the spectrum to us actually being able to enjoy the benefits of that? And how does that impact the business that you're invested in?
Yeah, so the spectrum aspect is more driven on the connectivity for more mobile network operators. So you saw the likes of MTN, Vodacom, Rain, who is not a mobile network operator per se, but rather works on the same form of technology in terms of providing connectivity. Our investment with Metro Fibre is traditional fibre. So it's exactly putting the hard fibre cables and infrastructure into the ground and ultimately getting that connected to different townships and different locations within the country.
Yes.
We've obviously had a long drive initially when the company was set up with getting fibre out to the sort of more developed areas, but a very strong and progressive advancement by the company, particularly in the last 12 to 18 months, has been the sort of implementation and rollout of fibre into the mid to lower LSM sort of locations. And the fundamental purpose for that is, of course, that makes up the significant component of our population. And our true vision as SAHIF has always been to try and, as we said, accelerate the delivery of infrastructure for South Africans. And this certainly falls squarely within that ambit. Now, Metro Fibre, what it is currently doing, in fact, is rolling out fibre, so getting fibre out to these different locations or townships as such, and effectively then setting up infrastructure that is more accommodative towards the sort of clientele within those environments, such as prepaid connectivity, such as normal traditional contracting opportunity as well, and different sort of price points that are sort of more matched to that environment. But what's fantastic about it and important to highlight is that it's done on the basis of fibre connectivity, again, which I have to emphasize is very strong and reliable and of top quality. So we are ultimately, delivering the best of its kind to all South Africans, and not only those that are, I guess, on the top end of the disposable income profile.
Yeah. Lastly, Kameel, you talked about price points. How affordable are your packages, and how do you ensure that you get the balance right between affording people affordable packages while at the same time ensuring a return on investment for your investors?
Yeah, great question. I think, look, obviously, again, is driven on context of disposable income within the profiles of the different areas that we're rolling out, but more for the, call it lower LSM, lower disposable income families. The models are based on a few different variants. So one being that you get fiber to the main location, but effectively then the form of connectivity can be done, instead of underground, can be done above ground through sort of overhead poles and the likes, and then obviously wireless routers, so you have more shared functionality. Again, another variant is effectively trying to drive a prepaid type of system, so effectively allowing people to control their spend versus having a definitive fixed amount that you pay every month. And then also looking at different types of products in context of fiber speed or connectivity speed, effectively allowing you to then have maybe perhaps slower speed for a cheaper price as well. But again, remember, the good thing about this is that it may be a slower speed, but you certainly have the form of reliability in terms of connectivity, with fiber being the underlying infrastructure providing the connectivity ultimately to the user.
Understood. Kameel, thank you very much for giving us some insights into the business that you've invested in. Kameel Keshav, he's the CFO at the South African Housing and Infrastructure Fund.